in the deepest silence of the night when even the wind seems to pause, and the stars blink slower as if holding their breath. There is a sacred window of time, a quiet portal that opens not with fanfare, but with subtle grace. Between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m., while the rest of the world remains wrapped in sleep, something extraordinary happens. The universe slowly parts its curtain. And no, it's not to jolt you awake with fear or restlessness. It's to offer you something far more rare, an invitation into clarity. This isn't just a random interruption to your rest. It's not some meaningless coincidence. According to ancient Stoic wisdom, these hours are a divine gift, a golden sliver of the day where your soul and the silence of the universe finally meet. In that space, when the noise of the world recedes and the distractions dissolve, you are offered a rare opportunity, the chance to return to yourself, to reconnect with nature's quiet rhythm, and to dissolve into the stillness. But what is it really that makes these early hours so powerful? When you rise during this hushed moment, enveloped in darkness, yet surrounded by peace, you step into a space that is untouched by urgency. There are no emails demanding your attention, no decisions to make, no rush to be anywhere. Just you, your breath, and the deep, unshakable quiet. In the silence, something miraculous happens. Your inner voice becomes audible, and if you listen closely enough, you may begin to remember a truth you've buried under years of noise and chaos your own. So, how can you use this sacred time? What should you do in these golden hours before the world begins to stir? How can you harness this calm to sharpen your mind, renew your energy, and strengthen your inner core? The answer lies in 5 timeless actions. Practice is rooted in Stoic philosophy. These aren't just morning habits or feel-good routines. They are deliberate, powerful rituals. Each one is designed to anchor you in calm, ground you in truth, and awaken a quiet strength that already lives within you. Waking up at this hour doesn't necessarily mean something is wrong. What if it's the universe, gently placing a hand on your shoulder, whispering, "There's something inside you waiting to rise." Are you ready to hear it? But before we begin this journey inward, I'd like to offer you a small challenge, one that could shift the way you experience your mornings, and maybe even your life. Stay with me until the end of this video. Watch fully, reflect honestly, absorb deeply, and if you're ready, truly ready to explore this path of reconnection, leave a comment below that says, "I accept the challenge." Now, let's begin step by step with the first powerful practice. 1. Make declarations in the tranquility of dawn. In those precious moments, before sunrise, when the sky slowly shifts from inky black to gentle blue, you are given something almost no one else has, a rare pocket of uninterrupted stillness, a moment that belongs only to you, a sacred pause in time when the world hasn't yet laid its hands on you. This is where Stoicism breathes, because dawn, in its quiet majesty, isn't just a time to wake up, it's a time to awaken, to rise not only from sleep, but from self-doubt, from fear, from the false limits you've placed on yourself. This is your moment to speak boldly, to declare who you are. Stand firm in the silence. Let the early light touch your skin, and speak your truths aloud, not in whispers of hope, but in declarations of certainty. These affirmations are not just feel-good words, they are your internal architecture. They reflect your identity and shape your direction. Each sentence becomes a foundation stone, steadying you for whatever the day may bring. When you declare your values, your strength, and your purpose out loud, something shifts inside. You stop reacting to life. You begin to lead it with awareness, with courage, and with calm. Can you feel it? That warm flicker in your chest, that subtle fire rising. That's not imagination. That's your power reawakening. Let me share a true story with you about Emma, a woman navigating the brutal pace of corporate life. Pressure, criticism, and deadlines were her daily norm. Many around her burned out, but Emma stayed centered, strong. Her secret, a morning ritual rooted in silence and intention. Long before her phone buzzed with notifications, long before meetings began, she created a quiet sanctuary in her living room. There, in the early light, she stood still and declared, "I am a steadfast wall against the storms of life. Every challenge I encounter is a stepping stone to becoming stronger and more resolute." I believe in my ability to overcome every difficulty and turn each day into a new victory. These weren't just quotes to her. They were armor, her compass, a reminder of who she was, especially when everything around her tried to make her forget. When you speak with conviction in the stillness of dawn, you're not just preparing for the day, you're building a fortress from within, quietly, powerfully. And from here, we step into the second practice where silence deepens, dreams surface, and your unconscious wisdom begins to whisper. Earlier, we explored how morning affirmations can lay the foundation for a day led with strength and intention. For Emma, those words weren't just feel-good phrases, they became a shield, a daily ritual that, one morning, turned into her greatest source of power. One particularly difficult day, a complex project landed on her desk. It was messy, riddled with problems, and quietly passed over by others who didn't want to deal with the stress. Her teammates hesitated, burdened by doubt and overwhelmed by the scope of the challenge. But Emma, she didn't flinch. She stood tall, grounded not in ego, but in clarity. She remembered her own voice from that very morning. Those strong, deliberate words she had spoken to herself still echoed in her mind. Like a steady drumbeat, "I am a steadfast wall." That wasn't just a line, it was a promise, a vow she had made to herself before the world had the chance to shake her. Instead of retreating, she moved forward calmly, strategically. She began to dissect the problem, piece by piece. What had overwhelmed others, she turned into structure. What had been chaos, she made coherent. Her inner stillness became contagious. Her confidence sparked something in her teammates, lifting their spirits and helping them refocus. By the time the project was done, it wasn't just complete, it was exceptional. Her leadership, her presence, and her ability to stay unshaken became a quiet legend within her company. Emma hadn't just led a team, she had transformed them. Her affirmations had done more than center her, they had empowered everyone around her. That's the real magic of morning declarations. They don't just lift you, they ripple outward. They become an invisible force of presence that others can feel. Emma's story reveals a timeless Stoic truth. True strength isn't found by sidestepping hardship. It is forged in the fire of challenge, refined by trials, and revealed when life tests your limits. In every obstacle lies an invitation to grow stronger, to think clearer, to stay anchored. Growth, resilience, wisdom, these aren't traits that appear overnight. They are cultivated, nurtured each morning, one conscious breath, one spoken truth at a time. When you rise before the world stirs and speak your affirmations in that sacred silence, something within you shifts. The words stop being just words. They become part of you. They shape the way you see the world and how you meet it. In those quiet hours, your mind is unguarded. The chatter hasn't started yet. The armor isn't up. This is when those words sink in the deepest. They begin to root themselves in your identity, and with time, this ritual becomes more than routine, it becomes a daily ceremony of becoming, of remembering who you are, and more importantly, who you're becoming. Think of each repetition like placing a brick in the foundation of a fortress inside you. Brick by brick, day by day, you build strength that doesn't shout but endures. And when the storms arrive, and they will, you'll find yourself steady, ready, unshakable. That is the Stoic path, not one that denies hardship, but one that greets it with patience, courage, and clarity. So the next time you find yourself waking up between 3 and 5 a.m., don't dismiss it. Don't roll over and wish it away. Recognize it. Embrace it. This is your moment, your calling to rise, not just physically, but spiritually, to reclaim what routine has buried, to awaken a strength that's been waiting in silence. Affirmations are not just motivational fluff. They are tools, mirrors, weapons. They help us remember the quiet force we carry within. Number 2, try to remember your last dream and now, in this still and sacred space, where the sky remains painted with stars and the world hasn't yet opened its eyes. We step into the second practice, one that leads us into the shadows of the mind and reveals the wisdom hiding there. When you wake in the early hours, just before dawn, it's not just your body that stirs, it's your soul. And sometimes, if you're truly still, you can catch it, the fading trace of your last dream. Just as we began to explore in the last section, Dreams are not merely stories your mind invents for entertainment. They can be quiet messages, guiding you through the fog of uncertainty. When you wake up between 3 and 5 a.m. and reflect on these dreams, something profound begins to happen. Your inner world starts speaking in symbols, not sentences. Imagine this: you're walking along a misty trail, winding through a forest you've never seen before. The path is unclear, the air is damp, and shadows move quietly between the trees. You don't know where the trail leads, but you keep going, step by step, not with fear, but with calm curiosity. Isn't that a reflection of life itself? We rarely know what lies ahead. The road is seldom clear, and yet we continue forward. We wake, we work, we face setbacks, we rise again. Not because we have all the answers, but because we choose to walk with courage, faith, and discipline. What if your dreams are your subconscious whispering what your conscious mind is too distracted to hear? What if those fleeting night images carry truths you've been avoiding? Stoicism doesn't dismiss dreams as meaningless. It invites us to reflect, to extract meaning even from silence, from subtlety, from the hidden corners of the mind. There's a timeless belief, soft and enduring, that every step holds significance. Even the ones taken in our dreams, the pauses, the turns, the strange scenes that don't quite make sense, these are not accidents. They are fragments of your personal evolution, symbols of the journey you're walking in waking life. Walking through a mist-covered forest with no map, unsure of where you're headed, may feel disorienting, but according to Stoic wisdom, this is where growth begins. Clarity, it reminds us, is not a prerequisite for progress. Often, clarity comes after we begin moving. In this way, dreams are not just invitations to reflect, they are challenges. Can you trust yourself to walk forward, even when the destination is hidden? Let me tell you about James. James was quiet, introspective, a thinker, a man who had long been searching for deeper meaning, not in noise, but in stillness. One night, just past 3 a.m., he awoke. The house was silent, the air thick with that peculiar, mystical calm that only comes in the earliest hours. And in his mind, still lingering from sleep, was a dream. In it, he stood at the edge of a long, winding road. The path stretched far into the distance, bathed in the soft golden glow of morning light. He didn't know where it led. There were no signs, no destination. But still, he walked. With every step, he felt not fear, but something rare: peace, purpose, a quiet sense that this walk wasn't about reaching the end. It was about discovering something within. When James sat down later that morning, he opened his journal and began to write. The dream stayed with him, and in writing, he saw what it truly meant, that he didn't need all the answers right now. He didn't need certainty to move forward. All he needed was the willingness to walk. That dream became his message, a call to continue, even when the way ahead felt invisible. It reminded him, and reminds us all, that progress isn't always loud or dramatic. Sometimes it's quiet, gentle, like waking up in the night with a sense that something within you is ready to shift. This is a cornerstone of Stoic thought. Every moment holds value, even the smallest breath, the faintest dream, the quietest realization. The world doesn't always shout its truth. More often, it whispers. And only when we slow down, when we truly listen, do we begin to hear the direction we've been seeking all along. So the next time you awaken before dawn, don't see it as an interruption. See it as an invitation to pause, to reflect, to write. This isn't just another early morning, it's a sacred moment, a chance to realign with the person you are becoming, to turn inward and begin a new chapter in your personal evolution with calm, with courage, and with deliberate presence. Because beneath the stillness of those dark hours lies a truth that never sleeps. Wisdom and strength already live within you. You just have to get quiet enough to hear them. Number 3, meditate. But what if you can't remember your dream? What if the images vanish before you can catch them, and your mind feels blank in the early morning haze? Don't worry. You don't need to force yourself back to sleep or rush to fill the silence. Instead, simply be, and in that stillness begin to meditate. Earlier, we explored the subtle messages carried by dreams, how they whisper truths from deep within. But what if your dreams are silent? What if your mind awakens into stillness, with no clear memory, no lingering vision? That, too, is a gift. Because when the world is still wrapped in darkness, and even the sky has yet to be touched by light, you are offered a rare and sacred invitation to return to yourself through meditation. In this quiet window between 3 and 5 a.m., when the noise of the world hasn't yet begun, you step into a space that feels untouched. It's in this sanctuary of silence that you can breathe freely, feel deeply, and listen without interference. Meditation, here, becomes more than a practice, it becomes presence, a soft returning to your center. Picture it, you're sitting in the dark, no notifications, no rush, no pressure to be anywhere else. Just the gentle rhythm of your breath. Inhale, exhale, each breath a quiet reminder, each breath a sacred return. And as you sink into this stillness, something beautiful happens. You begin to observe your emotions without reacting to them. Your thoughts, once tangled, start to unravel. The clutter of the mind begins to soften, and what's left is clarity, gentle, profound clarity. In that moment, you realize peace isn't something you chase. It's something that's always been inside you, waiting to be uncovered. In these early hours, the breath transforms into something more than survival. It becomes symbolic, a bridge between the world outside and the world within. Each inhale draws you inward. Each exhale grounds you in the now. This is not just meditation. This is homecoming. Stoic philosophy has long taught that true strength isn't found in escape, it's found in endurance. In meeting life head-on, through patience, discipline, and awareness, we grow. Meditation at dawn is a quiet, active endurance. It's a gentle form of resistance against chaos, distraction, and internal noise. It's your commitment to calm, and over time, something even more profound unfolds. Each session deepens your clarity. Yes, but it also awakens a powerful, grounded energy. Not the kind of power that shouts or demands attention, but the kind that steadies you, centers you, and prepares you for whatever the day may bring. This practice is also an act of gratitude, a way of saying thank you not just for what is, but for the chance to be present with it. When you meditate, you don't escape life, you align with it. You rediscover balance between silence and motion, thought and stillness, breath and being. Imagine the scene clearly. You're sitting on the floor of your room. No lights, just the first gentle glow of dawn creeping beneath the curtain. Outside, a breeze stirs. A bird begins to sing. Inside, your breath flows cool on the inhale, warm on the exhale. You are still, and yet, within that stillness, everything inside you begins to shift. There is no schedule in that moment, no demands, just you and your awareness. Even the tiniest sounds, wind brushing against the window, a soft creak of wood, don't distract you. They accompany you. They become part of the harmony. And suddenly, you realize you're not just in the world, you are of it. This is what early morning meditation offers. Not just quiet but reconnection. Not just calm but empowerment. It becomes a spiritual reset. A time to gather your mental clarity, emotional stability, and inner resolve before the sun has even touched the sky. It becomes the moment you step into your day not with tension, but with trust, not with chaos, but with clarity. And this is where Stoicism shines most, in the reminder that true strength comes not from control, but from awareness, not from domination, but from understanding. So the next time you awaken in those early hours, don't see it as an inconvenience. See it as an ancient tradition, a Stoic ritual passed through time, a doorway into self-mastery, a quiet rehearsal for greatness. Because every minute you spend in that sacred space is a gift, a breath of strength, a pause of power, a soft but unshakable preparation for the life you are choosing to live. And now, we move forward into the fourth practice, a quiet yet profound habit that will strengthen your discipline and sharpen your focus as the day begins to unfold. As we've journeyed through the early morning practices, from silence to reflection to meditation, you may have already felt something subtle but powerful stirring within you, a shift, a soft ignition of peace, clarity, and inner strength. This quiet transformation isn't just personal, it's meant to ripple outward. Because through these early rituals, you're not only preparing yourself to meet the day, you're becoming a light for others, a source of grounded energy in a world often overwhelmed by noise and chaos. As the Stoics gently remind us, seek not comfort, but strength. Seek not distraction, but clarity. And when that strength begins to rise within you, when you feel that first spark of freedom and calm igniting deep inside, don't keep it to yourself. Let it spread. Share this message not only to support this video, but as a way to help others find that same deep-rooted peace. Because you never know who might need this quiet reminder that strength is already within them. To number 4, practice gratitude. Did you know that the hours between 3 and 5 a.m. are not only the quietest, but also the most spiritually open? During this sacred window, your soul is more receptive, your thoughts more honest, and your heart more tender. This is a golden opportunity not just to reflect, but to feel gratitude deeply. In Stoic philosophy, gratitude isn't just a nice sentiment. It's a core pillar, a way of seeing the world not through what is missing, but through what is, through what remains. The Stoics teach us that gratitude transforms suffering into purpose, turns scarcity into abundance, and reframes hardship into growth. So, the next time you wake in the darkness, maybe unexpectedly pause. Don't resist it. Reclaim it. Turn the moment into something sacred. Close your eyes. Breathe deeply. Then ask yourself, what am I grateful for right now? Maybe it's the roof over your head, the health of your body, the quiet breath moving gently in and out of your lungs, the warmth of the blanket cocooning you. Or maybe it's the presence of a loved one, sleeping peacefully nearby, their breath a quiet rhythm in the dark. Picture the scene. The house is silent. The world is still. You're awake, not in stress, but in serenity, wrapped in stillness, surrounded by the soft beauty of life in its most peaceful form. In this rare moment, you're not chasing anything. You're simply being, and with that stillness, let the words rise from your heart. I am grateful for the peace that surrounds me. I am grateful for the warmth of this moment. I am grateful for the people I love and the love I receive. I am grateful for this new day written, full of promise. These aren't just phrases. They are quiet declarations. Each word is a soft light illuminating your path. They bring you back to what truly matters, not possessions, not achievements, but presence, connection, and meaning. Practicing gratitude in these early hours is like planting seeds in fertile soil. Your mind is calm, your heart is open, and your spirit is receptive. This simple act realigns you before the world begins to pull at your attention. It clears your vision, it reminds you of your values, and it reconnects you with the quiet strength that lives in your core. Just as a candle lights the way in darkness, gratitude becomes your emotional lantern. It doesn't erase your struggles, but it helps you carry them with grace. It softens your heart while sharpening your focus. It's a perspective, a lens that transforms every moment, whether filled with joy or adversity, into something meaningful. And through this lens, life begins to shift. You slow down, you appreciate more, you complain less, you start to see beauty in ordinary things. A sip of warm tea, the color of the morning sky, the kindness in a stranger's smile. Gratitude softens your spirit while strengthening your resolve. In time, gratitude becomes more than a practice, it becomes a way of life, a grounding ritual that makes you resilient, compassionate, and deeply aware. So if this message resonates with you, pause for a moment, reflect, and leave a comment below. I choose gratitude, not just as a phrase but as a personal promise, a quiet vow to live more deeply, more presently, more intentionally. Number 5, practice journaling. And now, we arrive at the final practice, one that ties everything together. A quiet act that transforms awareness into action and reflection into clarity. Between 3 and 5 a.m., when the rest of the world still sleeps, there exists a rare kind of silence. It's not an absence, it's a fullness, a sacred doorway, a space rich with potential. And one of the most powerful ways to step through it is by journaling. In the eyes of the Stoics, journaling is far more than a daily habit. It's a vital practice for reclaiming your autonomy. It's a quiet discipline that strengthens your self-awareness and enhances your ability to respond to life rather than impulsively react to it. Through journaling, you learn a truth that lies at the heart of Stoic philosophy. Control does not mean shaping the world to your will. It means shaping yourself, your reactions, your mindset, your inner world. When you make journaling a regular ritual, it transforms into something profound. No longer just an outlet, it becomes a sanctuary, a place where your raw thoughts meet honesty and where your deeper truths rise to the surface. It becomes a space where courage grows slowly, quietly with each word you write. A space where you prepare your heart, not just for the day ahead, but for life itself. In those quiet morning hours, as the stars begin to dim and the sky is still heavy with silence, you're not merely writing down passing thoughts. You're recording a journey. You're capturing a story not of perfection, but of transformation, of slow, meaningful growth, of silent strength earned one breath, one decision, one realization at a time. So the next time you find yourself awake before the sun has risen, don't see it as an inconvenience. See it for what it is, a sacred window, an opportunity to reconnect with yourself, to recalibrate your values, to align your daily life with timeless Stoic wisdom that has endured for centuries. But this is not where the journey ends. In truth, it's only the beginning. There's one final reflection that brings all 5 practices together. A message to help carry these insights into your day and, if you choose, into the rest of your life. You see, the journey of self-evolution doesn't stop at the self. Real growth, true, lasting growth gains power when it is shared, when your transformation becomes part of a greater whole. So we invite you now, extend this journey outward. Join a community of people committed to the same pursuit: strength, clarity, presence, and purpose. Take a moment, reflect deeply. Which of these 5 practices spoke most clearly to your soul? Was it the grounding stillness of meditation, the fierce clarity of morning declarations, the quiet beauty of gratitude, the wisdom hidden in dreams, or the deep honesty found in journaling? Whatever awakens something within you, we'd love to hear it. Leave a comment below, share your story, your struggles, your breakthroughs. You never know who might be reading. Your words could be the spark that lights someone else's path in the dark. And if this video brought you even a moment of peace, of insight, of inner connection, don't hesitate to like and share it, not just to support the channel, but as an act of kindness. Think of someone who might need this message: a friend lost in stress, a family member facing a storm, a colleague searching for clarity. Send it their way. Sometimes a single video at 3 a.m. really can change a life. And if you're new here, we warmly invite you to subscribe. Every week, we return to these ancient teachings, translating the wisdom of Stoicism into modern guidance for a meaningful life. This isn't a journey for the perfect, it's for the committed, the curious, the resilient. Together, we walk this path not to escape the world, but to meet it with strength, wisdom, and grace. As this video ends, be sure to press and watch the next episode. Let your journey continue. Let the insights deepen. Let these quiet but powerful lessons keep guiding you toward a life rooted in truth, calm, and conviction. And finally, thank you. Thank you for choosing this moment not just to watch, but to reflect. In a world that is always rushing, always shouting, you chose stillness, you chose presence. And that is an act of quiet bravery. Remember this: each time you wake in the middle of the night, it isn't a mistake. It's not a disruption. It's a call, a gentle, sacred invitation to return inward, to practice discipline, to remember who you are and who you're becoming, to awaken, not just from sleep, but into purpose. So until we meet again in the next video, stay present, stay strong, and keep walking forward with clarity, calm, and courage.